That's why I'm asking if I'm looking to expand it the next year.
Yeah, it was that. It's mostly the budget, I think. So a couple requests.
Yeah. Yeah,
Hey, Ben.
Jack Warren.
Good, you?
yeah, my knee. Don't get that replaced.
Mr. Diamond,
Yeah.
we're live on.
Okay, I was gonna
YouTube
wait for
here.
them to sit down.
And you have Miss Bramer's on
Good
too.
one.
She is, okay, good. That's okay, that's all right. We'll make up the time.
Oh.
Once we all get seated, we'll get going.
Then you won't.
Bob's not on this one, right?
Okay.
That's terrible. I'm gonna get this rolling then.
Yeah.
All right. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the September 20th Public Safety Committee meeting. In front of you today, we have two agendas, one for the Office of Emergency Services, the other is the Sheriff's agenda. We'll get started with the Office of Emergency Services. So I'll turn this meeting over to Anne Marie. First item on the agenda is I call the meeting to order, motion to approve the minutes of the prior committee meeting. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
A motion put forward by Supervisor Frazier, seconded by seconded by Supervisor Bramer. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. We'll move on with the action agenda. Item 1 is a resolution requesting to introduce a local law, amending local law number 2 of 2021, entitled a local law amending local law number 5 of 2009, establishing the Office of Emergency Services for Warren County. Attached are items number 1, 1A, and 1B. I'll have Anne Marie explain those changes to the committee.
The requested amendment reflects changes to sections 6, 7, and 8, which would remove language requiring Warren County Board of Supervisors approval for certain personnel appointments. Also, changes to section 8 include the addition of a hazardous materials, weapons of mass destruction coordinator, and removes fire coordinator oversight of the Warren County cause and origin team.
Okay, is there a motion to amend this local law and bring this to the floor for discussion?
I'll make the motion.
Motion put forward by Supervisor Frazier. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Supervisor Bramer. Okay, it's like to bring this to the floor for discussion purposes. Is there any discussion in regards to the amendment to the local law? If not, I'll call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? No opposition. Motion carries. Thank you very much. Item 2 or the next item on the agenda is information for discussion and review. Anne Marie?
Okay, just included information regarding a training that is an annual in-service for, it's actually New York State Police dive training that occurs in Alexandria Bay that our Sheriff's Department dive team attends every year. I wanted to make you guys aware of that. Okay. And the second item is the 2022 budget review.
I had a chance to attend the workshop with Anne Marie in regards to her budget, so I'll have her just go over that with you briefly, and we'll move on.
Okay. So just a few things have changed to bring to highlight is under the fire prevention and control budget. The personnel services, there was a change there. We created the position of director, and we needed to move the salary to civil defense from fire prevention and control. So there's a change there. Some other notable items, the equipment budget went up a little bit. We needed to replace some older office chairs. There's also cell phone replacements. As we change positions and add people, we have to deal with that. There's also vehicle warning equipment that we need to have installed. And we need to update some of the mobile radios for the deputy coordinators. Current radios are 10 plus years old. I believe some of them may be about 15 years old. Under MRT, we're also replacing aging equipment, just for example, some of the fins, gloves, and dry suits. Under uniforms and clothing, we're also replacing some, again, aging boots and pants that are necessary. Some of the clothing might not meet current safety codes and specifications, so that's why we're updating some of the older equipment. Under employee benefits, our previous fire coordinator had retired, and the fire coordinator position is now part-time. The fourth deputy also is a retired person and no longer contributing to the retirement system. So those are the notable changes under the fire prevention and control. Any questions? Okay. Going on to civil defense, again, some changes under the personal services, which would be the creation of the director position. Under the equipment codes, again, some office chair replacements. Some of the office chairs were quite old that are in there, and the cell phone replacement as well. We've got 200 for that, and miscellaneous office equipment at 500. Replacement cover for the bed of the Ford. We have a Ford F-250 pickup that's got a cover on the back of it, and there is a crack in that cover, so we do wish to remove and replace that. And we've also upgraded some of the RACES equipment. Under auto, we do need to purchase and install new tires for the mobile command unit, so we can make sure. Right now it is roadworthy, but we wanted to put that in the budget for next year. Under contracts, you see 17,388 was transferred from the EMS budget. It previously appeared in the EMS budget, and we've moved it to civil defense. And extended the contract from 3 years to 5 years. By extending the contract, we are saving about $1,800 a year. And there's also a contract charge in there that's $8,100, which has gone up for the USGS river gauge contract that we have. And under employee benefits, that has also gone up. We've added the director position to civil defense, and it increases from a single to a family plan. So that is why that is increased. Okay, the next one I have down is the fire training center. Not much movement in that budget. The only additional thing that we've done out there is we've added some cameras. So we've got some current eyes on that facility to just kind of better observe it and some of the happenings that are happening during real time as well as off hours. And then we've got Homeland Security, which is a grant program. With that grant program, that covers cybersecurity, and we're also going to be doing a tabletop exercise this year. The second Homeland Security grant program is the LEMPG, which covers a portion of the emergency services coordinator salary and benefits. We're going to move on to emergency services budget. Not too much changes there as well. The equipment, again, we had to budget in for cell phone replacement if needed. And we just increased $100 from miscellaneous office equipment. We also need to have vehicle warning equipment installed. So we do need to cover some pager replacements. Some pagers are getting old. And we also did an AED replacement. The AEDs run anywhere from $1,200 to $1,600 for an AED. Under contractual, we've got $1,500 for the EMS coordinator and deputy coordinators. We put that in there. Last year, there wasn't much movement for education. A lot of things were done without travel. So the coordinators will be attending some more conferences. So that's why we built that in there. And there is a conference coming up, the EMS Today conference, which we put in 2,000 for that one. And we also had going to purchase turnout gear for the EMS coordinators and deputy. That is coming in at about 3,500. And just a note on the contractual, just a reminder that we moved the I am responding from EMS out to civil defense. And just a quick short breakdown on the revenues that we have in 2020. It was training center and reimbursement from the CARES Act. That was 14,950. For 2021, revenue was $8,247, and that was for the training center. And in 2022, the revenue that you see there is training center and 2 grants, Homeland Security, SHSP grant, and the LEMPG grant. Any questions? Oh, that contract? Are you looking for the? Yep, that's for next year. We're looking at having no more than 2 classes per month if possible. That contract is going to be available for first responders if they need to have any or want to have any type of program for that.
Any other questions around the budget, tentative budget? Okay. If there's nothing under referrals and pending items, I'll turn this over to privilege of the floor and public comment. Is there anybody here that has anything that they want to discuss as far as privilege of the floor in regards to the Office of Emergency Services? Mr. Lehman, is there anybody out in the public that has any comments?
Hello, Chairman Diamond. No, there's no comment on YouTube right now.
Okay, good. Well, if there isn't any comments, thank you very much, Anne Marie, and we'll move on with the sheriff's budget. Okay, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Sheriff's budget of the Public Safety Committee. We do have a quorum here today. I would ask to move on to item 2, approval of the minutes of the prior committee meeting. Is there a motion to approve the prior committee meeting minutes?
We already did that, did we not?
Oh, we did for public
That's
safety?
part of the, yes,
Oh, so we don't have to do both meetings?
no.
Thank you. All right, we'll go on to the action agenda. Item 1, enter new agreement with Neimer Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram of Queensbury to perform proprietary dealers only repairs. Mr. Sheriff, would you like to speak to that?
Yes, this is something that came to committee, I think, 2 meetings ago. And it's a regular contract that went through purchasing. There's an error. I requested an extension. There were no more extensions available in the prior agreement. So we are asking now for a new agreement with Neimer Chrysler Jeep Dodge. And this is warranty work, proprietary only repairs for Jeep and Dodge vehicles at the sheriff's office.
So motion, bring that to the floor.
I'll make the motion.
Motion made by Supervisor Frazier, seconded by Supervisor Shepler. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 2, amending the Stop DWI Foundation agreement with the City of Glens Falls Police Department and the Warren County Sheriff's Department.
Yes, if I may, Supervisor Diamond, items 2, 3, and 4 are all very similar in nature. We have an agreement existing with the Stop DWI program with probation, Glens Falls PD, and the District Attorney's Office. The terms of the agreement that I requested were to commence upon execution of the agreement. There was some work with this program that was done prior to the execution of the agreement, so we just need to go back and backdate it from January 1st through December 31st of this year.
A question for Amanda.
Yes, sir.
Can we group all 2, 3, and 4 together as
Certainly.
one vote?
Yep.
Okay, great. So what we're going to do is try to group 2, 3, and 4 because they're similar, or identical. Is there any opposition to grouping those 3 resolutions together? So I'd like to put a resolution to support forward the request on number 2, 3, and 4.
I'll make the motion.
Motion made by Supervisor Frazier, seconded by Supervisor Shepler. Any discussion around those?
Chairman,
Yes.
Chairman, I'm fine supporting this. I just have a concern about this one and the last one, that our contracts are getting, I don't know if they're out of date or there's a misunderstanding about the effective dates of these things. Is there anything that can be done through the county attorney's office or somewhere to help clarify and make sure that we have good track of this? I know we've been trying to do that kind of through Amanda's office, following up on resolutions that have been passed. Is there anything more in your office, Sheriff, that we can work on that?
I'll take ownership in this. I don't believe that anybody outside the sheriff's office would have any idea. And in fact, I didn't until the undersheriff made it a point to me that there was business that was conducted in relation to this program that the county could not pay based upon the terms of the agreement. And I simply submitted a request for all 3 of these, as I do sometimes with other requests for contracts that they commence upon execution. Just something I missed. This will not happen again in future years.
Okay, great. Any other comments? Motion to approve those 3 resolutions.
No,
All right.
we have the motion in a second. Thanks, Sheriff. I'm just
Favor?
want to make sure there's nothing process-wise that we could be doing better.
All me.
All right.
All right, so the motion, the 3 resolutions were passed then.
Aye.
All in favor for those 3 resolutions?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. Opposed? Thank you. Next item on the agenda. Number 5, a new intermunicipal agreement memorandum of understanding between the Warren County Stop DWI Program, and Warren County Sheriff's Office for disbursement of funds for Stop DWI funds.
As you know, the DWI program is something that's new to our sheriff's office. And when I submitted a request for the 3 agreements with probation, the DA's office, and the Glens Falls City Police Department, I failed to submit a request for our sheriff's office, just not even realizing again that we are administering this program, but to disperse funds and make payments, we have to have an agreement as well.
Okay, is there a motion to bring this resolution to the floor?
I'll make the motion.
Motion made by Supervisor Frazier, second by Supervisor Shepler. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Item 6, a new intermunicipal agreement memorandum of understanding between the Warren County Stop DWI Program and the Warren County Sheriff's Office for disbursement of funds from Stop DWI Highway Safety DWI Prevention Initiatives grants. Eric?
Again, if I may, items 6 and 7 are both very similar. When we talk about Stop DWI, there are 2 sources of revenue. There are fines that we receive, and there are grant funding. This is the high visibility DWI Prevention Initiative grant. These 2 agreements are necessary between the Stop DWI program, our sheriff's office, and the City of Glens Falls Police Department to allow us to disperse funds from that grant for these initiatives.
Any questions for the sheriff? All in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Diamond, you didn't have a motion on that one.
Oh, we didn't have a motion?
No.
Is there a motion to bring that to the floor?
I'll make the motion. I'll second.
Motion made by Supervisor Frazier, seconded by Shepler. Supervisor Shepler.
Mr. Diamond, I'm sorry, is this to approve 6 and 7, or are you doing them
I was
separately?
going to do 7 independently because we got hung up on the last one.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to call into question, looking for the vote on resolution 6. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, item 7, a new intermunicipal agreement memorandum of understanding between the Warren County Stop DWI Program and the City of Glens Falls Police Department for disbursements of funds from the Stop DWI Highway Safety DWI Prevention Initiative grant. Sheriff, would you like to speak to that?
Yes, again, this is very similar. It's just the contract or the agreement between the Stop DWI program and our sheriff's office for fund disbursement out of the grant.
Okay. Is there a motion to bring this resolution to the floor? Motion made by Supervisor Shepler, seconded by Supervisor Frazier. All in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 8, to fill, there's a request to fill a patrol officer. Be determined.
Yes, we have a vacancy as a result of a patrol sergeant's resignation to be retirement effective September 27th. As soon as we fill the patrol sergeant's position, there will be a vacancy for patrol officer, and we're just looking to fill that vacancy.
Okay. Is there a motion to bring this resolution to the floor?
I'll make the motion.
Motion made by Supervisor Frazier, seconded by Supervisor Shepler. All in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next item is the discussion around the 2022 budget. Sheriff?
Yes, our budget as well is broken up into 3 primary groups: communications, patrol, law enforcement, and correctional facility. Starting with 3020, the 911 center. There really are not any significant changes. The Sheriff's Employees Alliance, the communications officers make up a good portion of this collective bargaining unit. The county and this unit came to an agreement for a contract, and there are salary increases that will come along with that new agreement. Overall, that increase to 3020 is very negligible especially after you take out the salary increases and the increase in contractual services. The overall change to the budget compared to last year's adopted is only $12,249. There was really nothing specific that jumps out. We did put in a request under this 250 technical equipment, $9,000. There was no request last year. Much like the Office of Emergency Services, we are in need of AEDs as well.
Any questions around the sheriff's budget?
That's communications, and if there's no
Okay.
questions there, I'll move on.
Okay.
For law enforcement, the PBA, again, they reached an agreement, the collective bargaining unit with the county. So there are going to be salary increases that come along with that. Working through this budget, everything again stays pretty much very similar to prior years. We're requesting a little extra money under 260 other equipment. That's for the replacement of USB battery backup systems. Contractual services went up about $7,000 from this year to last. And in this budget, when you remove the salaries, fringe benefits, contracts, it only increases approximately $142,000, almost $143,000. You will not see reflected in there. We submitted a request for 4 additional patrol officers for the road patrol. We have asked for these, at least I know I've asked for them for the prior 2 budget cycles. The reason that we ask for 4 is to have 24/7 coverage with a 12-hour platoon schedule. We have to have 4 officers for 1 per shift, every shift. And I've come with statistics before. Our calls for service are not decreasing in any way. I'm not going to say that, adding more officers will have a significant impact on the overtime budget. It's really tough to project how that will look. But what I will say, and I know several of you in this room feel it, I've had requests from many supervisors. How can we get more patrols in our townships? We need to see more presence, more coverage. And I will say that our officers are doing outstanding work to make sure that they hit all of your townships. And through this busy summer season, they're working very hard. Calls for service will pull us out of Stony Creek. They'll pull us out of Johnsburg to where the heavy call volumes are taking place. We do our best, but we're just working very lean. Beyond that, we're constantly asked, and I don't like to say no, if we could work a parade or we could work a special event for you, a family fun day. And we do everything we possibly can to make sure that the Warren County Sheriff's Office is participating in these events. And when they do, the men and women who are there, they're smiling, they're present, they're happy to be there. It's challenging for them. For the past several pay periods, we've had significant mandatory overtime shifts. And I know it's the trend, it's the cycle that we're in. Also getting back into zone 5, every recruit that we hire, now we've got about a 10-month window, shortest time period that they are available to be used in our strength, our staffing. We have to hire them. They go through the academy 6 months. They come out for an additional 10 weeks of field training at the shortest. Then they are in our staffing. And typically by the time they are back in our staffing, somebody else has retired. We're projecting 2 to 6 retirements for 2022. And we're going to work very diligently to make sure we fill those, as well as the additional 4 patrol officers that we're seeking. Beyond that, in our budget workshops, we had discussions about our building and about our fleet, about vessels, and we're working in a direction to maybe have a reserve for some of these expenditures. I've mentioned it before, our fleet is tired. Of the 36 marked units, 15 are over 100,000+ miles, or they will be by January. And you would think, really, what's the big deal with that? But the patrol cars are driven very hard. 100,000 miles is a lot for a police car, especially in Warren County with the distances that we travel. Our vessels are tired. A new patrol boat is anywhere between 170 to a little over $200,000. And our newest one is a 2005. And we've replaced power on these vessels, but we have not replaced the vessels, and the hulls get weak, they get brittle. We need to start really thinking about getting into a program where we're replacing our vessels. So for 3110, that was really the high points, unless any of you have any specific questions. Something that we also mentioned, I'm sorry, I'll just go back to it. Body worn cameras. We got a proposal for the implementation of a body worn camera program. Overall, it's $765,000. If we break that down into a 3-year agreement with this vendor, the first year would be $361,000. We realize that we're asking for a lot. We're not asking for all this right now. Again, all that I would like the supervisors to do is start considering that we need to start planning for our future. We want to be sustainable and continue to move forward. That was it for law enforcement. For our correction division, for that budget, the only real two jumps, we under 250 technical equipment, we're asking for $52,000, $52,500. The commander system, which is the electronic system in the correctional facility that controls and opens the doors, it's been failing. And Mark Neal has done an excellent job to keep it running, but we've reached a point where we're not going to continue to be able to get parts for this system. So we're trying to plan to have this replaced during calendar year 2022. Everything else within our budget, when you look at salary increases, the revenue increases, you take out fringe and contracts, the increase to this budget is only $16,000 as compared to the adopted for 2021 for our request. I know it's a lot to take in. I think some of you might just be looking at this for the first time now. I would ask if any of you have any questions, please send me an email, give me a call. I'd love to sit and go over any of this with you.
Any questions for the sheriff? Okay, let's move on to the next item under discussion, contingent permanent corrections officer appointments.
At the last committee meeting, I mentioned this, and I talked about coming in with a proposal to share with you about a contingent permanent appointment. And essentially, there really isn't anything that we have to propose. We just got an email from a female correction officer I did last week. She's seeking part-time employment. She's having some hardships. And it seems as though we can't hire correction officers and get them fully trained before they are going back out to do something else. Again, I realize it's extremely challenging work. We're struggling to recruit. We're definitely struggling to retain. So essentially, with a contingent permanent appointment, we have vacancies that exist due to long-term military orders, people who are deployed under military service, and they're going to be deployed for several years. Civil service will allow us to make a contingent appointment. It's a permanent appointment with the understanding that when these people return, if this position is still filled by the contingent appointee, they would have to vacate the position. The good thing for us is it has no impact on our budget. These budget positions are already funded. So when these people come in and we hire them, they're working under a fixed budget number. And what I see happening is we're going to have additional vacancies by the time The people return from military duty, the contingent permanent appointments are already going to be slid into a full-time permanent appointment based upon a new vacancy that will be forthcoming. It's just something we're looking to do to get to as full a strength as possible in our correctional facility.
Any questions for the sheriff in regards to the permanent, contingent permanent corrections officers appointments? Okay, move on to privilege of the floor. Public comment. Is there any questions that any supervisors have for the sheriff today in regards to this agenda, along with his draft budgets that he has shared information on today?
Chairman, I have one quick comment or question actually for the sheriff because of the stop DWI items that were on our agenda today. At one point, there was some talk of trying to use some of that money for efforts on the water related to driving boats when you were under the influence. Has there been any ability to use any of those funds for that type of effort?
That's more the undersheriff's realm of expertise. We have a person who's hired to be the Stop DWI program coordinator. And this is something that really for our sheriff's office, we are just now getting up and running. I think that if the funds are, if it's permissible to utilize them for BWI, we would like to utilize those for BWI. And we'd recognize that our waterways, people are operating in an impaired and intoxicated state. So anything we can do to help prevent that and limit it, we are looking to do.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just want to compliment the sheriff's office for last weekend down in Lake George. As I drove through there, it was tremendously busy with an incredible amount of detours going through there. And the sheriff's officers were doing a great job directing traffic all through there. And I know that puts an immense stress on your operations there, getting everybody turned out and figuring out, you know, overtime, straight time, all of these things. Really appreciate that. Also appreciate and passing this on from residents of Loon Lake for the Marine Patrol that came up and serviced the lake as well. Thank you.
For the car show, we can't take all the credit. The New York State Police had a contingent of officers and they were with us in lockstep for the entire weekend. They took traffic posts and worked tremendously hard. Mayor Blaze and the village DPW also had some of their employees come out and man barricades for the entire weekend. The positions that they were in on the back streets were, I know they took a lot of heat. There were some people that were trying to navigate their way around and we tried to keep traffic moving. So I'm sure they had a lot of people who were at a number of questions and probably weren't quite so happy, but the village and the New York State Police also helped out tremendously. And we are ready for this weekend, Balloon Fest Barricade.
Good. Any other questions or comments for the sheriff? Hey, Sheriff, thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Next item on the agenda is a motion to adjourn. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion.
Motion made by Supervisor Frazier,
I'll second.
seconded by Supervisor Shepler. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.